Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. I know you probably just heard my voice because today is Thursday and the podcast is supposed to come out. We go from chronic pain to supporting kids and adults in the classroom. And I don't know if you heard part one of Crystal's interview where we talked about FAFSA and going to college and all that good stuff. Now we're going to switch it to getting support in the classroom and getting support from the schools and getting grants from the schools. And then we're going to make a part 3 interview about finding equal opportunity in employment. Once you get that college degree, you have to start paying off those loans. Oh joy! But without further ado, I'm going to let Miss Crystal take it away again so we can get this interview started.
Awesome. Thank you for inviting me back, Lynn. I really appreciate the conversation. I love talking about, kids and their potential and what do they want to major in when they go to college, how are they going to afford college, and the ultimate result is being able to go into the market and get a job and feel good about yourself for being able to earn money and contribute to society and have people respect you. And certainly everybody faces a lot of challenges, but I do think that people with disabilities face a lot more challenges. And a lot of it just has to do with people who don't have disabilities aren't always aware of some of the challenges that you have. And there's sometimes a lot of miscommunication. And that's why I'm really excited to be back on the call today.
Well, you hit the nail right on the head. So my first question, okay, we've got into, let's use my school, for example, and then we can use Harvard, for example. So today the Academy of Arts, and we're using Harvard and the Academy of Arts, two different offices in the spectrum. I'm going back to School for Fashion Journalism at the Academy of Arts in September. So, okay, we got into school. We now have the grants. We now have the loans, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Stafford loans that are now in a fixed rate. We now have everything covered financially except the textbooks and the school supplies. So now, what do we do once we get into the classroom? How do we start asking advisors and teachers for support?
That's a great question. And one of the things I like to encourage people to do is to think about asking support every step of the way, regardless of whether you're in the process of looking at different schools and trying to decide which school is right for you, or whether you're already in school. And I think it's great to ask a lot of questions, especially when you have a counselor, and be like, what kind of services do you provide students with disabilities? What kind of accommodations do you make? And this could be everything from accommodations from being in the classroom if you need time to set up, maybe extended test time, or maybe you need the test questions to be verbally given to you because maybe you have a difficult time seeing. This could be maybe you have trouble concentrating and you need to be in a separate room where it's quiet. So it's always great to ask, what kind of accommodations do you provide? And then think about, what are your own needs? What kind of needs do you have?
So, okay. So you're saying use the professionals right from the beginning, from moving day to graduation day.
Correct. And that's also a great way to help you evaluate the different schools, because some schools may not be, it takes a lot of money to put schools into compliance. So, for example, I went to a school that was in the foothills, and they had a lot of stairs. Well, a lot of people with disabilities need access for an elevator, and it costs a lot of money to put an elevator into a building. And that's part of why it's so important when you go on campus tours to ask questions about what does your school do to make it easier for people with disabilities to get around? And what happens if maybe during the winter it's snowing and you need to clear a path? Do you clear a path first for people who have disabilities and maybe they need the handrails wiped down, they need the snow cleared so that they're going to be extra dependent on that guardrail? And really ask the school and challenge them, like, what do you do? Are you proactive or are you waiting to be reactive because you want to go to a school that's proactive?
Yeah. And I know my school takes up, I think they told me it takes up a whole block. And I know in
are you there? Sounds like the phone got cut off. Okay. Hopefully Wynn comes back. But until that time, I guess I'll go ahead and keep sharing my experience and knowledge. And I just want to say that you really need to be an advocate for yourself and teach those around you how to be an advocate for you as well. And really, I didn't know much about disabilities until college because one of my college roommates had a disability. And so a lot of what I learned just came from my interaction with her and her having to educate me and then me having to educate other people. So my college roommate's name is Carla, and she's considered legally blind, and she wore these really thick Coke bottle glasses. So people kind of looked at her and they kind of knew something was going on, but they didn't really know like how much she could see or what her troubles were. And so a lot of people got mad at her because they thought she had tunnel vision and she couldn't see peripheral on the sides. And that created a lot of challenges. And in the beginning, she had a lot of accidents because she was being very self-supportive and didn't know how to communicate her needs to other people. And that's why it's important to be able to speak up for yourself and let people know. Because people don't always feel comfortable asking, like, what's your disability? What's wrong with you? Or, you look fine, so they assume you're normal. And so sometimes there might be a lot of guilt because they don't want to ask something that's politically incorrect, or it might not come out right, or they might not know anything about what your challenge is. So, just being able to let people know within 1 to 2 sentences, I'm considered legally blind and these are my challenges. Or, don't think I'm ignoring you. It's literally, I can't see you. And she had to tell people these things. And like, what do you mean you can't see? Like, you have glasses, you're in class, you read, you write, you participate. And so she had to really educate people about the lighting conditions and how it made a difference. And if there was a glare she couldn't see, or, when she was walking, she would often put her hand on my arm like I was guiding her. Like, if you think about being in a prom, the man puts his arm behind his back and the woman locks her arm in and they walk. They're not holding hands, but they're walking. And so depending upon the time of the day, what was going on, the lighting conditions, she couldn't always see. And so sometimes she needed that guidance to be able to go in that direction. And really being able to tell people, sorry, I was late to class, I couldn't see.
The host has joined the conference.
Awesome. Sounds like Wynn's back, so let me just finish this real quick. But just being able to, yes. Yep, are you here?
Technology, I'm here. Since technology cut what you were beautifully saying off, I'm going to start the recording again. Thank you.
Okay.
My phone cut it off. And so you can repeat what you said. I won't do the whole introduction again. We have that, and we'll just make this a 2-part interview. This one a 2-part interview.
Okay.